overview of the events and sessions we are planning as backup and recovery technologies team for Oracle Cloud World, which is coming up in it's less than a month away. And then I will briefly go through some of the new features that RMAN introduces with Oracle 23 AI, which is now generally available. So for Cloud World, we have three learning sessions, as they call them, the traditional auditorium style type of sessions. The first one on the list is modern ransomware protection for Oracle databases with the recovery appliance. It's obviously, a recovery appliance sessions focused on how to help in ransomware protection and ransomware recovery with a recovery appliance. Then there will be session on, again, 23 AI, backup and recovery, new RMAN features and best practices. The 4 or 5 slides that I will show later are from this session. And the third one is instead what's new in Oracle Recovery Service and database backup and recovery, which is obviously cloud-focused and cloud-oriented. Everything you want to know and know the new stuff around the OCI recovery service. We'll have some presence in the demo grounds area. We will be part of 3 booths, right? The MAA, the database security, and the engineer system booths will feature the recovery appliance and the recovery service. There is a protect and recover databases from ransomware with the Oracle Recovery Service, which is an hands-on lab. So it's 2-hour sessions with hands-on experience. And then we will have one of those sessions, short sessions inside demo grounds in the what we call the theater session around 6 principles for modern database cyber resiliency and recovery in the cloud, also featuring the recovery service. We also have some invitation-only events. So obviously the sessions I mentioned so far are open, anyone can register and participate. We have some invitation-only sessions that I have in the next slide, so we can see them in more details. The first one is an executive roundtable around cybersecurity, resiliency, and ransomware protection. We are now hoping to host this session and have participation from CISO, CTO, infrastructure managers, and architects in general. It's really a roundtable. We want to have a interaction between customers and an open discussion. Obviously, we'll provide an introductory short presentation on the ransomware protection topics, but then we would like this to be really an interactive session and be able to have a good exchange of experiences and plans, etc. This event is also organized together with a security team. So it's not just the backup and recovery events, it's backup and recovery and database security. We have 2 customer forums event. One focused on ZDRA, recovery plans, and the other one focused on the recovery service. Customer forums are, again, open to obviously existing and prospective customers, but where we also want to have create interaction between existing and, again, prospective customers and have exchange of ideas, expectations, plans, etc. These events, both this one, the previous one, and those that I mentioned later, as I was saying, are invite only. So if you are coming or going to Open World and interested in joining these events, you can reach out to us. If you don't have our direct contacts, you can comment on the office hours page. Leave a feedback there, and we'll reach out to you, or you can reach out to your Oracle counterparts you work with. For the Oracle colleagues that are attending this session, if you have customers that are interested in joining this event, please let us know, and you can nominate them, and we'll see, based on the room that we have available, the number of people we can invite, to then invite them if possible. So this is for the ransomware protection roundtable and for the customer forums. Similarly, we have also customer advisory board events for recovery plans and for the recovery service. These are for existing customers, traditionally customer advisory board. So it's really where we want to create again interaction between the customers, but also have their feedbacks, which is very, very important for us. And that's where we will also discuss roadmaps, longer term roadmaps, what we are doing. We'll have possibility of creating connections with product development and engineers on the product development side, and among customers as well. Again, if anyone, so the executive roundtable and customer forums are kind of one-shot events. If you are interested, let us know. You can participate. The customer advisory board is really more a kind of long-term type. Once you're a member of and part of the customer advisory board, we would really like to have some commitment in really providing feedbacks and helping us bringing the product forward. Okay. If we have questions around anything, just I'm trying to see if we have a Q&A. We don't have a Q&A, so leave it in the chat. Okay. Moving on to the next topic, it's new RMAN features. 23 AI is now available. It's available in OCI. It's available on premises, on Exadata and ODA only, on database appliance only. For now, it will be opened up to other platforms in the future. But for now, it's only Exadata and ODA on premises or OCI. So what are the new features in RMAN? There are changes in the backup encryption algorithms. There are some updates on operational diagnostic and catalog upgrade. There are new features and capabilities around database migration, cross-platform migration, but not only cross-platform. This is 23 AI only. So these features, this is probably the most relevant part of the new features. But this being 23 AI only have limited applicability for now, because as I was saying, on premises, it's only available on Exadata and ODA. Once it will be released to other platforms, these new features will become more applicable, because there will be new platform where you can migrate from and to. Last one is a change on the RMAN SPT libraries, the SPT libraries that are Oracle developed, if you want, that we release, and that they will be included with the database itself. I'll go into more details in a moment. So what changes on the encryption algorithm front? The first thing is that AES 256 is the new default encryption algorithm. So if you don't select anything else, that's going to be what is used when RMAN encrypts backup. It's AEX 256 XTS, which is different from the previous AES encryption algorithms that were used before 23 AI that are called AES CFB. Don't ask me the details on the differences between XCS and CFB. As a very simple differentiator or explanation, I would say the XCS is more secure. It uses larger keys, and it is more performant because it can do certain operations in parallel compared to the previous one. But the main thing is that increased security. The previous AES type of algorithms, which is AES CFB, are not available anymore. AES 192 also is not available anymore because there's no AES 192 XCS. So for this reason, AES 192 has been dropped. So today, from now on, 123 AI, only AES 256 and AES 128 will be available in this new version. Restore using old encryption algorithms remains possible. So new backups will not be encrypted using those old algorithms, but clearly restore from backups from previous versions or the AI that is using compatibility with previous versions will still be restorable. Okay. In terms of operational diagnostic and upgrade enhancements, so the first thing I want to mention is that now it's possible to register DataGuard standby database with the recovery catalog. Previously, only the primary database could be registered with a recovery catalog. If you had a DataGuard environment, you had to do a switch over, so you can register both databases, especially with recovery appliances, recovery appliance configurations where you had a primary and standby backing up each to its own local recovery appliance. You had to go through this switch over to configure it. Now that's gone. You just start RMAN connect target to the standby, register the database with the catalog right away, no problem. There are some improvements in performance and efficiency with the recovery catalogs, thanks to the fact that now RMAN disconnects to the from the recovery catalog when the backup starts or before starting the backup. Once RMAN has collected all the information it needs from the catalog to start backup or restore operation, it disconnects from the catalog. This improves the performance, than on the catalog side because there are less connections available. It also simplifies the upgrade thing that I will mention in a moment because again, you don't have this persistent continuous connections between RMAN and the recovery catalog while a backup or a restore operation is going. Control file resynchronization is now transactional. I put quotes here because I'm using this term a little loosely, but what it means is that when control file synchronization is progressing, there are multiple save points, I would say, so that if, for example, control file synchronization lasts for, I don't know, 15 minutes, and there's problem or disconnection or whatever, after 10 minutes, what has been done up to the 10 minutes is saved, and you don't have to redo it again. Previously, if this happened, everything was lost, right? The synchronization failed, and you had to redo it from scratch. And the other thing I want to mention is that you can, synchronization from the standby is also possible now. If for some reason there are some limitations here, it's all documented, so I won't go into the detail at this point. But if in certain situation that's not possible, it will automatically fall back to the synchronization from the primary. But when possible, it will use the standby. Upgrade catalog has been simplified. So until 23 AI, before 23 AI, upgrade catalog required to have no connections at all to the catalog. So it was difficult if you have a catalog used by multiple databases with a lot of backups going on in parallel, a lot of operations, a lot of databases connected to the catalog. It was difficult to find the time where the upgrade could be performed, and if there was any connection, the upgrade would fail. Now there are new parameters have been introduced with upgrade catalog to basically create, first of all, a grace period during which no new connection would be accepted, but you could leave time for the existing connections to complete, the existing jobs to complete. You can use the wait parameter that is described here when you run the upgrade catalog and say, okay, wait 600 minutes or whatever, depending on what you want to do. And the upgrade would basically run after that time. Okay, and during that time you could have your existing jobs complete, and then the upgrade would start. If you want, you can instead just say terminate all the connected users. So this would basically say, okay, drop all connections and do the upgrade now. Or you can combine the two things, right? You can say, okay, wait for a certain period of time for the existing jobs to complete. If they are not completed after that period of time, drop them and do the upgrade. Okay, so that would probably help the management and for customers that have databases, catalog databases with a lot of connections, a lot of jobs going on in parallel at the same time. Migrations and platform conversions. This is where the bulk of the updates are. But as I was saying, this is all 23AI specific, and not having 23AI available on non Exadata or ODA, so Linux platforms and specifically Exadata and ODA, is less applicable for now. Anyway, the new things that are coming out, support for TDE encrypted databases, or so migration and platform migration for TDE encrypted databases, support for multi-section backups again during migration platform conversions. The other thing that is interesting thing is the ability to leverage pre-existing backup. So there is no requirement, it's not required to create ad hoc backups for migration. It is possible to basically create, so if you have a catalog, it's not necessary, it's not required to have a catalog, but if you have a catalog, you can directly connect to the target database you are storing to. You connect as a target, you connect to the catalog as well. You can specify the DB ID of the source database that you want to migrate from, and you can create what's called a transport file. Sorry, you can create, if you're connected to the recoverable catalog, you create, it's called transport list in that case. So RMAN would create this in memory, this transport list about what it needs to do to restore, what it needs to create this or to migrate this database. After that, you clear the DB ID of the source database, and you just basically do a restore. And RMAN would know that you are restoring from that other database, which is a different database, and do whatever everything it needs to do. Again, there will be more details. We'll probably, I think it's worth doing a dedicated office hours only on these new migration and platform migrations features once. We'll have 23AI released on other platforms. Okay. The last thing I want to mention is that so the SBT libraries that currently we delivered either through OTN downloads, the Java installer that you had to run, etc., will be now included with the Oracle database. So these are the SBT library that are used for the recovery appliance. It's called libra.so. The OCI database backup cloud module, that one is used by the database backup cloud service or by ZDRA to offload backups to OCI. That's called libopc.so. And the Oracle Secure Backup Cloud module for S3, that is called OSBWS.so. These, again, today were 3 different modules that could be downloaded by from OTN and installed and configured, etc. All these modules will now be included in the database releases. So either the release version or the release updates will include and will have updates of this module. So there's no need to go to the OCI buckets and download it. So run the Java installers to download the libraries. It will all be part of the Oracle database. The only thing that I want to mention is that the Oracle Secure Backup Cloud module for S3 is licensed, and the license requirements remain. Okay, so the library is included and distributed with the database release updates, but to use it, you still need to have and purchase the license. There's also a new way of allocating channels. Instead of having to specify the SPT library path name and file location and library name, etc. There are now 3 aliases: oracle.zlra, oracle.oci, and oracle.ospws, which is the S3 one. And you can allocate channels, and as in the example that you see here, instead of, again, specifying SPT library equals and the full path name, you just say Oracle OCI, and it will basically use the library to do backup and restore to OCI from the Oracle Home, the one that is part of the Oracle database. Besides being, easier to manage it this way and to have the libraries updated together with when you're patching your database, you're also patching the libraries if there are new versions, etc. So it's easier to manage it this way. There is also a specific reason, which is compatibility with FIPS 140. If you enable FIPS on Oracle databases, there are some stricter requirements on the library used for encryption. So both HTTPS or network encryption, and actually the RMAN encryption and authentication, etc. And to maintain compatibility across the different database versions, you need the specific library for that specific version. So in the past, if you remember, you could use the latest library version, and that was working on all supported databases, even from previous generations. Now that's not the case anymore. It has never been the case if you enable FIPS. So this new way of delivering libraries, it also means that these libraries and databases using FIPS will be able to use this library. FIPS 140, I mean the security protocol used mostly in government, military, those kind of environments. Okay. That's all I have for today. Oh, there it was a Q&A. Okay. Is the native SPT libraries available on 19C or only on 23 AI? The whole project is coming with 23 AI, but we plan on backporting it to 19C. I don't have the DBRU, the 19C DBRU, where this will start, but it will be one of the next, which probably I think 1925 or 1926. Well, we'll communicate that when it's available. So yes, it's 23 AI, but it will start at a certain point from 19C as well. Can we directly connect Exadata and ZDLRA? Yes, I mean it's possible. We have an option for using top of rack switches that can be ordered together with ZDLRA, and if you want, you install them in the ZDLRA rack, and you create a private backup network between ZDLRA and Exadata. RA23 now also have the option of using 100 gigs interfaces, and the switches, the top rack switches I'm talking about are 100 gig switches. So if you want, you can really create a 100 gigabit private network between Exadata and ZDRA with 100 gig switches. And just to clarify, given the question was specifically for Exadata, this is still a client network. So you will be connecting the client, what we call ingest ports on ZDRA through this top of rack switches, and you will also connect the backup network, the backup network interfaces on Exadata to these switches. So we are not, I'm not saying that you will be able to cross connect the Rocky switches, the backends of ZDRA and Exadata. That's not supported. Okay. Are there other questions or comments or anything? No? Okay. I renew the invite again if you are interested of have a cut. Oh, okay. No, that's not supported. That's what I said. The connection between ZDRA and Exadata are the platforms and using the Rocky network are not supported. How air gap work on ZDRA? Okay. That's a good question. I think that was presented on a previous office hours. So if you go to the office hours page and look at the previous versions, the previous sessions, you will find the one on using a ZDRA and air gap, and you have all the details. But we use a replication, the mechanism to synchronize a primary or a production ZDRA with a ZDRA in an air gap location is through the replication mechanism. And you can either control the air gap gate through firewall, or you can control it through managing the interfaces on the downstreams on the air gap ZDRA. And that's basically it. I mean, I don't think we have time to go into the details, but yeah, ZRA supports an air gap configuration for cyber security, what we call cyber vault configuration. Look at the previous office hour sessions, or if you come to Cloud World, as was mentioned before, we have plenty of sessions on ransomware protection. Remember, it could be connected on AB switches. Yes, we used to support it on InfiniBand, but yeah, that's never been the great idea, if you want. No, I mean, yes, it was supported, but only with one Exadata and one ZRA. So that's why it probably didn't solve in the best possible way this solution. And given we have 100 gig interfaces now, it's not necessary to go through the backend anymore. What about ZFS storage appliances? To connect it directly to Exadata using IB switches can be. The ZFS storage appliance, it's not a product I own, so I cannot go too much in details. But for what I know, yes, using InfiniBand, it was supported, but I was saying it was supported on ZRA as well, even if it's not widely used. Okay, let's put it this way. For ZFS, they also supported it with Rocky switches, but at a certain point in time, they also decided to move to the same approach that I was mentioning. So they are also now promoting top of rack switches and connecting through the front end and not through the Rocky. Although I know they published a paper, but this is more a question for the ZFS team. How did you work in ZDRA? That is more a kind of open question. I think I try to kind of make an interpretation of what is really being asked here. I assume it's being asked, how does it work for TDE encrypted databases? So if the databases are TDE encrypted, you can back them up to ZDRA, and all the functionalities are available. All the auxiliary capabilities are available. So auxiliary can ingest incremental backups from TDE encrypted databases and can create virtual fools based on that. No problem. Everything works as normal with the TDE encrypted databases. We recently introduced a new feature that is currently available only for databases that are running on Linux that are 1918 or later version. So which also allow compression of data coming from TDE encrypted database. Because if you just send a TDE encrypted, if you send encrypted data to ZDRA, local compression on ZDRA would not work. Virtualization work, but it is not possible to compress data that's encrypted. So with this new feature, we are decompressing, decrypting, compressing, re-encrypting the data on the protected database before shipping it to the ZDRA. And with this new feature, the data is formatted in a way that the ZDRA can still process it, ingest, and do all its magic without the need of decrypting the data, because the ZDRA does not have access to the keys, right? But it has, much better efficiency, because you can have both encrypted data and data remains encrypted at rest on ZDRA, and it's also compressed. On this feature also, there is a previous office hours session that you can go and find and see the recording if you want to have more details. Okay. Other
Marco,
questions?
just in case, if I kind of rephrase this question in a little bit different way, we do not have separate TD encryption on the recovery appliance itself. This is not like data domain encryption or net backup appliances separate encryption. We just maintain TD encryption on the database side, and we store exactly the same encrypted data on the backend.
Yeah, that is exactly correct. There is only one situation where we may have to encrypt data on ZDRA, and it is if the data were not encrypted at the source in this way that we just described. So it's sent to the ZDRA unencrypted, and you want to copy those data to OCI, to offload the data to OCI, because in that case, we mandate encryption when the data is sent to an OCI bucket. So in that case, data would be encrypted on ZDRA. But again, it's not encryption at rest. It's only encrypted the moment when it's sent out. Whereas with the previous feature that we were talking about, data remains encrypted through all the life cycle. It's encrypted at the source database, and it's always encrypted on ZDRA and on an external destination if you offload it to some other destination. Okay. Other questions? No. Hey, Aaron. Nice to see you. How to implement array format new feature across 1,000 of database channels, an easy way to mention this globally without modifying channels. That's a good question. But I don't have an easy way. I'm thinking probably through OEM could be a way. I know that OEM also recently introduced a new package that is aimed at managing or fleet management, if you want, if you have many databases, etc., right, that you are managing. So this management pack introduces some OEM capabilities to simplify this type of management, but you have multiple databases, etc. So that could be a way. If you're doing it manually, yeah, I think you probably need to update the RMAN configurations everywhere. Other questions? No, don't think so. No, no, I'm not aware of a new 24X OEM release. Again, I'm not the ultimate source of truth for OEM, but especially for releases. But no, what I know is that they are just introducing or just introduced these new RU that have this management pack. This is one thing that they. Okay, well then I don't know. This is an externally accessible forum. So questions? A few more seconds. No? Okay. Good. So thank you everyone for attending. I will mention again that if you are going to open world and are interested in attending the sessions I introduced, or if you are an Oracle internal colleague and have customers that are going to open world that you think are may be interested in joining those sessions, the invite only ones. Obviously, for the other ones, you can just register and go, no problem. But for the invite only ones, please reach out to us either through the office hours feedback page or to us directly, and we'll see if there is room and we can invite you or your customers. We would be happy to do so. Okay. Good. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day and weekend, and hopefully we'll see you in Las Vegas. Okay. Thank you. Bye, guys.